Hey guys, hope you're all doing good. In this video, we will delve into prosocial behavior. We will understand what it actually means and also look at different theories that attempt to explain why we indulge in prosocial behavior. As the name itself suggests, prosocial behavior refers to any action that is intended to help others in our social environment. This is usually without any expectation from the people whom we help. Helping a friend in his assignment, calling an ambulance during an emergency on a road, donating money or belongings to orphanages, all of these could be good examples of prosocial behavior. There are a number of factors that encourage or motivate people to help others. It's important for us to note that there is no one principle behind why people indulge in prosocial behavior. Multiple contexts create space for multiple intentions behind prosocial behavior. We'll look into each in brief. The first one is the empathy altruism hypothesis. Humans have the ability to empathize and understand others' feelings. This ability would enable them to perceive another person's problem as their own. This perception eventually enables them to help the person in need. In short, empathy allows an individual to solve a crisis of another person. It is important to note that here we do not help the person for any extrinsic reward or reinforcement, rather it's an unselfish act. There are three different components of empathy. Empathic concern, which is the feelings of concern towards another's well-being. Empathic accuracy, which is about the extent to which we can cognitively understand another's thoughts and feelings. And finally, emotional empathy, which is sharing others' feelings with us. It is important to note here that research studies on these components show that people who are good at empathic accuracy have a higher everyday mind reading capacity, which would enable them to establish stronger social networks in their lives. Mirror neurons are the biological basis of empathy. These help people share others' feelings and also eventually help them. The second is the negative state relief hypothesis. In the simplest terms, we help others not because it gives intrinsic satisfaction, but rather it stops us from feeling bad or having negative thoughts about ourselves. Here, unhappiness acts as a primary motivator for prosocial behavior instead of helping. An example would be a situation where you say you receive a terrible grade in exams and on the same day after that you help a visually disabled person cross a high traffic road and he thanks you a lot for it. This would actually relieve you from the sadness that was a consequence of your bad marks, at least temporarily. Next is the empathic joy hypothesis. This view hypothesizes that helpers experience joy and positive feelings through the process of helping people who are in need of the same. Have you felt good once you helped your friend cope with a mental breakdown? An important caveat to this hypothesis is that the helper should know that their support has actually created a positive outcome in the receiver of the help in order to achieve empathic joy. Thus, positive feedback and not merely empathic concern is necessary to experience empathic joy. Research conducted by Aknin et al. Also suggests that people feel a higher level of satisfaction and happiness when they spend money on others than themselves. Competitive altruism hypothesis. Have you ever noticed that celebrities and politicians usually donate huge sums of money to charity or educational institutions? How will this help the helper? Well, one way is that his or her status and reputation in the society increase. They start earning more respect as people think that they show care and concern towards people in need of help. You certainly must have noticed buildings of educational institutions or orphanages being named by people who have donated to them. This recognition will make society think that the helper has certain desirable qualities, making them admirable. The underlying motive behind this way of helping is to boost one's own social status. Kin selection theory. This is a unique approach to understanding prosocial behavior. As we all should be aware by now, all our genes strive towards survival and reproduction. We want our genes to be transmitted to future generations to prevent them from dying. Keeping this principle as a foundation, we usually help people who are biologically close to us, as it would enable or increase the chances of their survival and reproduction, eventually transmitting some of our genes to the next generation. In terms of evolutionary value, it is more beneficial to help a young man than an old man, as a young man has a higher potency to reproduce and preserve his genes than the old man whose reproductive fitness has already deteriorated. But don't we also help people who are biologically unrelated to us? Then how would that fit into this theory? Reciprocal altruism theory suggests that when we help someone, there is a higher possibility that they will return the help some other time. This reciprocity would thereby increase our chances of survival and reproduction. Defensive helping. We human beings are social. This makes us build our own groups and tribes with their own authenticity and norms. But we know that there are multiple groups other than ours. Say, for example, there are hundreds of political parties in India or millions of software companies. The existence of multiple groups certainly creates competition, thereby posing a threat to the status and survival of other groups. Sometimes, groups help other competing groups that are high in status with the objective to reduce the threat of competition that the outgroup poses. Helping the outgroup, which is of high status, would make the outgroup dependent on the group that is offering help, thereby reducing the probability that the outgroup might outcompete the helping group. Here as well, we can observe that the primary intention is not to actually help the outgroup, but it is more to do with self-interest and protection. I hope this video has given you a brief introduction to prosocial behavior and some detail about why people show prosocial behavior. See you all in the next one.